If they're not saying that I have to pay more to live here and extend my lease, why not? What is going on, everybody? I am CeeLos, and I want to welcome you guys to my channel, Pay Yourself Back, where it's always about mental awareness and spiritual wellness, guys. It is another bright, hot, and sunny day here in South Florida, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about why I chose to renew my lease here at my apartment, guys. Now, this is going to be part 2 of a video that I did entitled Lease Renewal Time up here, guys. So go check that video out, guys, so that you will get sort of a little understanding about why I renewed my lease. In that last video, I talked to you guys about my stay here and my experience here. And I didn't tell you about whether or not I was going to renew or not. So in this video, I'm going to let you know. And I know that you guys have been saying, man, CeeLos, why are you wasting your money? Why are you wasting your time renting? Man, you should buy a home. You should be a homeowner. And so I'm going to address that as well, guys. And it is not as easy as you think. And I'm going to talk about it a little bit, guys. So let's go ahead and get into it, why I chose to renew my lease here. So here's the deal. I'm approaching the end of my lease here at my apartment. Now I have a couple of options. Either I can renew it or I can move on. Now I'm the type of guy, being that I've owned a home before, I'm the type of guy, I need a little more room. And I discovered this about myself. I thought I could go back to an apartment, you know what I'm saying, move from a house. Even my last house before I moved here, I was actually renting. But I said, man, you know, I'd much rather live in a house whether I'm renting it or I own it. And so I was actually working with a realtor at the time that my lease was nearing the end. Now, I was working with this lender. This lender referred me to a underwriter for the VA. Now, this was right around the time that COVID hit, and a lot of people were being laid off. People who were working in the office, they actually were assigned to work from home. And so, you know how that goes. Things start slowing down, and I was like, man, the clock is still ticking though. This lease is coming to an end, so I need to make a decision. So I said, okay, I'll tell you what. I wanted to move out of these apartments, not because I don't like them, because the location is perfect to the beach. So I just wanted to look at maybe renting a house. So I found one, met with the homeowners. It was actually an agency that was renting the home, but there was some little bit of jankiness going on with it because the deal just didn't sound right. The house was great, big backyard. I mean, driveway, all that stuff. It was an older house, of course, but just didn't sound right. And so they wanted all this money up front. I wasn't with that. You know, they were like over $5,000 first month, last month, you know, security deposit. And I talked to you guys about this in my other videos as well. Home buying and home renting experiences here in South Florida. And I just wasn't with that. And so I'm like, So the loan process with the VA was continuing to draw out. And so luckily, one day, my apartment called me and they say, well, since you have turned in your letter to vacate, and due to the COVID situation, we are offering tenants who have already turned in their letter to vacate the option to renew their lease with the same rent that you paid. No increases on the rent, no additional deposits or anything. And I'm like, you know, that's a win-win situation for me, because even though I wanted to move on, if they're not offering, if they're not saying that I have to pay more to live here and extend my lease, why not? And so I kind of gave up on the deal with the VA after a while, because I understand that they probably had so many other applications that they were trying to process. And so here it is. I renewed my lease, guys, and I've been here. And so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably toward the end of my lease, I'm going to start trying to reapply to get a pre-approval and to find a home. Hopefully by then things will be back to normal. Things will be back up and running. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed, but the way that it looks it just doesn't look too promising, but we will see nevertheless. So let me talk to you guys a little bit. I know I'm going back and forth here, but let me talk to you a little bit about why I haven't bought a home. Just to address those of you who left the comments and say that I'm wasting my time. Guys, I've owned a home before. When I was in Washington State, I had my house there. The mistake I made was not using my VA loan because I am a veteran. During that time, 2006, 2007, predatory lending, and we were first-time home buyers. And so they kind of took advantage of us. Luckily, we got out of the deal. We ended up selling the house to move here, and we got a pretty good deal on the house. We even got some money from the house, so that worked out okay. But so I've been a little leery about that whole situation. I've learned a lot since then, and since I've been here in Florida, I've talked to people who have owned homes, people who have went through the whole ordeal of buying a home in Florida. But there are some things that concerns me about the whole home buying process here in Florida and the homes that you are buying. And there's this thing called unpermitted improvements. And what I mean by that, guys, is that you see a lot of homes here in South Florida that have upgrades. The garages are probably the biggest thing that you're going to see with a house. I know there's a garage there because there's a driveway. They convert these garages into bedrooms, bathrooms, even kitchens. I've seen it. I've been in homes that have had garages converted into kitchens. They put a full kitchen with pantry and everything. So that's fine. I understand families expand. It's understandable. Kids grow up to be teenagers, be adults. They have kids, and sometimes they stay there. So I understand the families grow. You need to make improvements. You need to expand your house. Got it. No problem. The problem is what I have seen, and some of the people I've talked to that have gotten these deals, is that they are not in compliance with the Florida state building codes. They'll add these rooms on. They'll pay a little bit of money to try to avoid actually doing it the legal way. And when you go to buy that home, you're stuck. You have to be very careful when you purchase these homes that have had these improvements. If you go to the city hall for that municipality and you pull all of these permits to make sure that the home is in compliance, if it started out as a 2-bedroom and it's a 4-bedroom, that's fine. But did they do it legally? Are they in compliance with the Florida state building codes? And a lot of times they are not. I've talked to people. I know what I'm talking about. You leave comments if you want, but I'll talk to people who have had these experiences. Also, make sure, and I'm saying this to you guys, but this is me just saying that what I'm going to do. Make sure you don't incur somebody else's debt. There may be liens on that house. They may have a $4,000 water bill. And yes, the inspector should catch this, and they should catch it and escrow, and when you close on a house, but they don't always do that. So if you close on the house and these people they owe money, they got a $10,000 water bill. I know people who've inherited these debts, and they have to pay for that because it fell through the cracks. It wasn't disclosed in closing. And you got to think, Florida has hurricanes, Florida has floods. Make sure roof damage, cracks in the walls. These houses are concrete, a lot of them. Structural damage. There's a lot of things to take into consideration here because you have that type of inclement weather. I didn't have that in Washington. We didn't have that. The most we had to worry about was probably a little rain, a little mildew, or whatever. But there's so many other factors that come into play when you looking to buy a home here. You want to make sure that the house is a solid deal. And with the VA, the good thing about them is that they're going to make sure that the deal is solid. And that's one thing to all my veterans, and we can appreciate about that. So to answer the question why I haven't bought a home yet, that's the reason why, guys. There's a lot of legwork that you got to do. There's a lot of research that you have to do, and that's only going to cover you as the home buyer. I mean, it's not necessarily, it is the seller's responsibility to disclose that information, but are they, or would they? Probably not. I mean, that's just the way that it is. And so if you're looking to buy a home here in South Florida, These are just some things that you have to be aware of. There's a gentleman who is a real estate attorney. I want to say, I'm going to leave the link in the description to his website, and he has a lot of good, useful, good, viable, good, helpful information about unpermitted improvements to your home and some of the legalities that are involved in that. So if you're looking to buy a home, guys, this is just for your general information. And yeah, that's the reason why I, renewed my lease. I mean, I couldn't beat that deal with a football bat. I mean, 12 more months, no increase to your rent. Where they do that at? So I'm here. Like I said, I'm start looking for a house toward the end of my lease, and I'm going to share that experience with you. But if I buy it, I'm gonna take you through the whole deal. I like giving out information to you guys. I like looking out for you because y'all guys support me. So I'm gonna share that experience with you as well. But anyway, guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and with that being said, be well, my friend. CeeLos out, baby.